right, Steph, thank you. To our top story, we were just talking about it. The province is recommending not sending the kids out for Halloween in COVID hotspots like Toronto, Peel, York, and Ottawa.
When you have the kids going up, and the groups may go up 4 or 5, and you're sticking your hand in the candy jar and then handing it over.
Instead, health officials suggest a virtual celebration, carving pumpkins, maybe a candy hunt inside your own house. For children who are outside those hotspot areas, you are asked to stay within your local neighborhood and make a protective mask a part of your Halloween costume. Parents should use tongs to hand out treats. One parenting expert says, be honest with your kids about why they're being asked to stay home.
You say to them that because of the numbers of COVID-19 being higher in our area where we live, to keep everyone safe, they've made the decision that we can't trick or treat because that could expose more people to the virus.
Infectious disease expert Dr. Isaac Bogosh, who we frequently talk to here on BT, does not agree with the province's advice, taking to Twitter to say one would be hard-pressed to imagine a lower-risk activity than walking around outdoors wearing a mask, collecting candy in a physically distanced manner. The province recording 704 new COVID-19 cases yesterday, including 244 in Toronto, 168 in Peel, and 103 in York. Now, despite the numbers, the province's chief medical officer of health thinks we may be headed in the right direction.
We have taken some measures and we're seeing some evidence of plateauing. We're not out of it yet.
Well, some positive news we should share, though, for regions in a modified stage. The province has given the green light for dance studios to reopen. They were part of the original rollback, but tens of thousands petitioned for the government to change their minds. Dancers will need to pre-register and stay 2 meters apart. And part of that movement, by the way, was Sean Desmond, who's going to be joining us later. But we will be speaking to the province's chief medical officer of health, Dr. David Williams. He will be joining. We're going to talk about that decision when it comes to the dance studios. We'll also talk about Halloween and the latest when it comes to COVID-19, how they've come upon all of these decisions as of late. Now, the second wave of COVID-19 cases has now pushed Canada's total case count beyond 200,000, and that milestone was reached yesterday when Saskatchewan reported 69 new cases. This comes just over 4 months after Canada reached the 100,000 threshold, with the bulk of the infections in Quebec and Ontario. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau will be holding a news conference this morning at 11:30 from Ottawa with several ministers, as well as the Chief Public Health Officer of Canada, Dr. Theresa Tam. And the Trudeau government is threatening to call an election if Parliament passes a proposal to create a special committee to look into the We Charity scandal. The Conservatives are calling for an anti-corruption committee that would probe possible conflicts of interest involving the Liberals. But the Liberals argue a motion like this sends a message that the opposition doesn't have confidence in the government. A confidence vote could send Canadians to the polls. Parliament was prorogued back in August, which shut down the work of committees that were delving into the We Charity scandal. The Tories' proposed anti-corruption committee is up for debate today. And also, MPs holding an emergency debate in the House of Commons last night to address escalating violence against the Mi'kmaq lobster fishers in Nova Scotia.
Let's just say we didn't have a right to fish. People forget that violent response still wouldn't be appropriate. We're talking about less than 350 traps of Mi'kmaq people compared to 350,000 traps of commercial fishers who have overfished and breached, all of the regulations over these many years.
And that is lawyer and activist Pamela Palmer condemning Mounties for not protecting First Nations fishermen targeted with violence. The Indigenous Services Minister agreeing that RCMP have failed to do their jobs. But the Public Safety Minister is defending his decision not to call in the military as requested by the band. During last night's debate, the opposition parties blaming the Trudeau government for allowing the dispute over Indigenous fishing rights to spiral into violence. Trudeau firing back, saying the appalling violence in Nova Scotia must stop now. It is unacceptable, it is shameful, and it is criminal. And a live look outside our studios here at Yonge Dundas Square, which will be the site of a rally in solidarity with Mi'kmaq fishers. It is expected to begin at 3:45 this afternoon. Masks and hand sanitizer that will be provided here as well, and a traditional round dance will take place.